pilots once, so you guys are handling everything. Welcome, everybody. We've got Lofty, but we've got a surprise for you because we've got my friend here, and she's going to be talking about really curating this database that you have a mess and you haven't fixed forever. And we've got to take a look at this and say, well, where do we start with this? So with that, where do we start with this, Kendra?
So, hello everyone. If you don't know me, my name is Kendra. I've been part of Lofty for almost 4 years now. It's crazy to think it's been that long. Time
Great.
flies when you're having fun. And worked with Tristan every day of that. So I'm really excited to join everyone here and kind of talk about how you can audit your CRM, figure out if it's really working for you. I've spent a lot of time with agents, and a lot of them kind of struggle to even articulate what they need out of their CRM. They struggle to sometimes put it into actionable tools versus just kind of the blanket statements like, well, my CRM needs to manage my database. Well, yeah. Otherwise, it's not a CRM. It's a data management tool. So I
True.
want to dive into kind of a few things that we've kind of seen working with our clients of that they look at when they're auditing their CRM and seeing if it really works for them.
Yeah, I'm excited on this one because one of the top questions we get when we're doing these, right, these bigger events with Lofty is, well, where do I start? Is
Yep.
there a place that you guys can tell me how to manage this, or I don't know what to do? So this is perfect. So when it comes to
Love it.
Lofty, how do we check the health of our Lofty account?
Yep. So the hard reality is a lot of the clients that transition over to us, they find only 10 to 15% of their database is actively engaged with them. And sometimes it's even less. So when you're thinking
Hmm.
about your existing database, whether that's Lofty, whether that's any other CRM, it's important to think about if your CRM is actually helping you drive engagement through through your contacts. If you're using all of the pieces that are part of that CRM to truly engage them, or if they're just kind of getting these mass type email drips, that's an important part of a CRM. But I think a true ecosystem CRM has so much more to it than that it's more than just your monthly newsletters that go out.
Got it. That makes sense.
So, yeah. So when you're looking at CRMs, it's important to kind of dive into the four types of leads. Uh,
Oh,
there's the people that know who you are and they're in your database. They don't know who you are, but they are in your database. They
okay.
know who you are through social networks or your community. They're not in your database just yet. And the people that have no idea who you are, you probably don't know them either, and they're not in your database.
Okay,
So I'm
so
going to kind of dive.
what are the four so I can write those down? Go.
Yeah, knows who you are and is in your database. So a lot of the times this is current clients, people you've transacted with recently, or past clients, or folks that
Got it.
you're in the middle of fostering a relationship, you're actively in communication with.
Okay.
The second kind is they don't know who you are, but they're in your database. So these are the folks you're trying to actively engage. It could be, you just got a new listing and you're trying to engage the neighborhood around that listing, saying, hey, I know how to sell this house that's right next door and get you top dollar. Come
Got
talk
it.
to me type thing. So future leads, future contacts, hopefully future clients. The third is people that know you through your social networks, but they're not in your CRM yet. So this could be Facebook friends, social media followers, mutual friends in the community. So that's where some of that kind of social selling takes place.
Got it.
And then that fourth is folks who don't know who you are yet and they're not in your database. So the people that have yet to be bombarded by you trying to get a hold of them.
Got
And
it.
at the end of the day, if your CRM isn't putting you in a position to connect with all four of these leads, then you're probably missing out on opportunities. And it's important to kind of assess the tools in place. And I've got some kind of questions for each of these leads to kind of pique thought around, is my CRM actually doing this stuff?
All right. I like the breakdown, by the way. Thank you. I don't,
Yeah.
I've never looked at it this way, because I usually just have the tags and that's how I do it. But I love this one. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So diving into that first type of lead, this is a little maybe elementary sounding, but it's the people that know who you are and they're in your database. It's current transactions, it's current clients, it's clients you've just transacted with, it's
Yeah.
past clients from years ago that they know who you are. So it's engaging with kind of everyone that's in that kind of broad bucket. So when you're looking at your CRM and auditing, if it's, helping you kind of manage this, is it managing your transactions? Is it helping you manage the clients that are currently transacting and making sure that they've got all of the information they need,
Mhm.
transaction checklists and paperwork documentation? There's more to a CRM than just keeping you in contact with them. It's that kind of true process management. So, is your CRM helping you manage that? Is it enabling you to engage with prospects that are on the verge of transaction? Are you able to send them, MLS information, CMAs, and property alert type things? And is your CRM helping you stay connected to past clients? So the clients that, you sold a house 5 years ago, everyone signs up for a 30-year mortgage, but that doesn't mean they're not going to sell their house in 30 years. So they're not kind of a one and done type thing. In 5 years they could have started a family and outgrown their home. So are you staying in contact with the folks that you've already transacted with, and staying in front of them? I've got a close friend of mine that actually, a great story. She was a renter for a really long time, and
Mhm.
her agent actually used Lofty. And throughout her many years of renting, that agent stayed in contact with them and helped them kind of keep tabs on the market. And eventually, years down the line, they just ended up buying a home probably a year and a half ago. And that agent was exactly who they called. And I know this friend personally, and she's got a huge network of real estate agents. She could have called upon any single one of them, but the one that she called was the one that stayed in contact, even though she was a renter. So that's something to keep in mind too, of, there's more than just, the people that are ready to buy right now. So it's, how are you staying in contact with folks like that?
I like that. Well, with these, I think once you have these in the system, everyone should finally, from everything you sent me, like not sent me, but for those four, every one of those should end up as a number one so that
Yes.
they're set up in a smart plan, properties, newsletter, whatever you've got. So this makes sense.
Yep. You're jumping ahead of me, Tristan. That was like my big aha moment. As soon as you get them in
Sorry,
all
sorry.
four, they become back in number one.
You've got me taking notes
I
already.
know.
Okay? I was like, this
Yes,
is
that's
good.
what
Okay.
that's what I wanted to do, was to kind of peek, a different way to look at this. So that's perfect.
This is
You're
good.
right on track.
Thanks.
So that second type of lead is folks who, they don't know who you are, but they are in your database. So I've seen too many clients too often. They just upload every piece of data they can get into their system, but then they just kind of sit there. They become stale, and then they say, "Well, I don't have good enough leads." Well, your CRM needs to be engaging those folks that you do get contact information for. So one good place to start when you're looking at this is, how many contacts do you actually have in your database? I encourage everybody to go look and have a hard number that says, okay, I've got 6,000 leads. Are you able to see how many of those are actually active on your website? Are they hitting your website? Are they engaging with property alerts? Are they engaging with your blog content on your site? How are they engaging with you digitally?
Mm,
Um, and are you able to see that? In Lofty, we've got this section of our People's tab that you can see last website visitor. I won't show you our demo account because the demo account isn't maybe a good apples to apples comparison, but it
mhm.
shows we've got 6,000 leads. And then you go to who's visited in the last 30 days and it drops to 22. Now, all of
Yeah,
that's kind of fake data, but it's
yeah.
what we see so often with a lot of our clients of, they're not doing the things in the CRM to push people to their website. So it's important to be able to see that. And a lot of folks don't have their website connected to their CRM. So they don't even have the starting point of being able to see that data. So that's another kind of fundamental, I wouldn't call it a red flag, but fundamental kind of thing to keep in mind of, if your CRM and your website aren't connected and you don't have that website traffic data, you're definitely missing out on being able to see those folks and know who's actually engaged with you.
Kendra, on that point, Sherry, try logging back in and out for the sound, and then I should fix it. Also, Kendra, on that note, the number one thing that you need to have is that connection. It needs your CRM needs to connect and communicate not only to, but the website needs to communicate back to the
Yep.
CRM like it does on Lofty. Because one of my friends, I think she's on here, Jonky, if you're on here, you could just say hello in the chat. She does a really good thing through Lofty. She finds the last logins or last visits throughout the day
Yep.
that she knows she hasn't connected with because they just haven't picked up. Right? They're in this database. They just don't know Jonky. And she mass texts them literally every day. She's like, I mass texted more. And guess what happens? They raise their hand, right? And then she grabs them and then puts them on the phone. And now she just put them to number one. So I love that.
Yep.
Yeah, this is key.
Yep.
Good job, Jonky.
Yeah. So, I've touched on the property alerts and market snapshots a little bit. The biggest thing, you can mass market to your database all day long. You can send emails, you can send text messages, but what is that thing that you're sending them? It's not just, hey, you want to buy a house? Please come talk to me. That's not going to move the needle as drastically as sending like tangible things that they want to look at, like MLS data. Google's the first place that every home buyer goes to look at a home. So if you're able to stay in front of them and send them property alerts and market snapshots, that sends them to your website to save homes. I'm guilty of it. I've got a Zillow tab filled to the brim of every dream house I would ever live in. And that's what a lot of home buyers are doing. So if you become the Zillow, the realtor.com, and become that portal for them to look at, then you got a much higher likelihood of them converting on site and turns them back into that number one lead,
This is number two is a perfect opportunity to be able to use. I know we're only on the CRM portion, but to tap into Lofty's retargeting. Like
Yes. Yep.
this is where I would totally turn that up. And for pennies a month, I could retarget everyone who I haven't touched because either they're not responding or I just don't have the right systems. But that would be great.
100%. So moving on to that third type of lead, the folks that are part of your social network, but they're not in your database just yet. So we've all heard of social selling. It's this kind of buzzword that's been in the market for years. But how are you leveraging those social networks to actively bring leads to you? Social media is known to be one of the best sources for lead generation, specifically in real estate, because it's so hyper local and it really can cement you into your community and make you kind of this go-to expert. So when you're thinking about the types of leads that your CRM is supporting, is your CRM enabling you to leverage those social networks? Can you manage your social media profiles from your CRM? Do you have the lead data that if you get a lead from social media, it imports into your CRM automatically and be able to create custom follow-up plans to that? Are you able to create content at mass, or are you spending, hours a week trying to create social media content? I think that is one place where AI really just thrives, is that content creation and being able to leverage that within your CRM to pump out content at mass without having to overthink it, sort of thing. So having tools like the Social Studio and AI Marketer to be able to push content out like that is a huge kind of differentiator to where you can leverage your social network more efficiently versus just kind of having to make that another one of your step processes to go source leads from and bring them into your network.
I like this.
And again, you're able to use that as a way to push people to your website. This all comes back to like you've got to have a website that helps make you kind of that go-to portal, but it's just another vehicle to engage folks and get them to go to your website, to where again you can turn them into that first type of lead.
So for this one, I would say people listening in, you've got an opportunity here. Most of us have some type of social following, right? A few hundred, Some of you have maybe a couple thousand or so, but you have an opportunity to use this CRM specifically because they give the ability to create landing pages. And in those landing pages, you could do like a download of the 10 things to do in whatever your city is. Let's say it's Malibu for me. The 5 best beaches in Malibu, download it right now. As soon as they download it, though, because it's connected to Lofty, they have to fill in their information. And now these social friends of mine go into my CRM, and now I have a smart plan, and then they stay connected, right? And now they go from number 3 to number 1.
Yep.
Fast. So think about it this way. You've got the landing pages. I took notes. You also have a newsletter you could do, and you could just post listings too. Everyone loves to see listings. If you've
Oh,
got
yeah.
something coming up tomorrow, you can start marketing it today, right? Just a day away. That's still within most MLS's rules. So
Yep.
that's what I was thinking, Kendra.
Love it. And that actually segues nicely into that fourth type of lead, folks that don't know who you are and they're not in your database yet. So this is, all the leads that live out in the interweb abyss that you want to collect. And I kind of call it like Pokemon. You want to catch them all and put them into your database.
Yeah.
So, how are you able to do that? Does your CRM allow you to fill your funnel? And does it, allow you to do it low cost or no cost? You just talked about being able to promote listings on social media. There's products like Listing Blast through Lofty that you can promote your listings. You can become that zip code area with Zip Code Blast for really low cost. It doesn't require a really hefty ad budget to be able to leverage kind of paid media channels to be able to fill your database. Does your CRM have that lead generation PPC kind of built into it to where if you ever wanted to engage in the paid media space, that you can do it straight from your CRM? You don't have to go learn Google Ads. You don't have to go learn another native system. You can just do it all in your CRM. And then you've got a much less likelihood of leads falling through the cracks because it's all baked into that system. So, think about how, if you are investing in lead generation, how is that going? How are you importing that into your database? Do you have visibility into budgeting and, different ad spend? Or are you kind of trying to figure that out and you don't have good visibility into that? The right CRM and the right true platform will have a lot of that baked into it. And again, this all comes back to having a really good website. Is your website, SEO'd? Are you ranking high on Google? Do you have accurate and usable MLS feed on that website to help make you that portal? Because the folks that do know you, they're a lot more likely to go to your website and use you as the portal because you're already engaged with them, right?
Yeah.
But the folks that don't know you yet, you've got to really send them somewhere and get them to take action. So getting them to save 123 Main Street because they love the living room in it, or being able to request information or request a showing on a house that they maybe didn't see on another portal that a different agent was working with them in. So being able to have that kind of one hub to send everyone to and really position you as that go-to expert, it'll increase the amount of conversion on site and allow you to, fill your funnel without necessarily always, spending a ton of money. Like I said, it doesn't always take a large ad budget to be able to fill your funnel. So think about how your CRM is enabling you to add leads to your funnel.
Yeah, there's one thing that goes along with number 4. Leon says blogging on Lofty.
Yep.
I mean, Leon, that you hit it right on the head, man. I think we look at the most visited websites in the world. Google's still at the top, right? And I don't know if everybody's noticing, but you type in a question and you have snippets. It's like
Yep.
Google's AI that's summarizing all that information into one little spot from different sites. And if you're continually answering frequently asked questions through your Lofty account using AI and curating it and then putting your knowledge in it, slowly, actually pretty fast, you're going to show up as a snippet. And that's what Leon's talking about, Leon. That's really good. Richard's got a question that I don't know the answer to, Kendra.
Sure.
I'm going to read it to you. Trying to set up more social media connections other than Facebook, but Lofty keeps telling me I need to upgrade for $24.99 a month. Do you know what he can do there? Is that needed?
Yeah, so that tells me you're probably on one of our legacy packages. I would encourage you to reach out. I can put my email in the chat and you can actually just reach out to me directly. I'll connect you with somebody that can help kind of walk through that a bit more. Um, we've changed all of our packages over the last couple of months. So a lot of Social Studio users that sign up in the last few months are, they get access to everything. Legacy systems, we kind of are starting to move everyone over. So definitely shoot me an email. Everyone feel free to send me an email and I'll help kind of coordinate you in the right direction.
She'll quarterback you. Frank, you too. I know you got questions. She can send you to the right person. That's her email. Kyle's got an interesting question that I'm thinking about too. Will we be able to customize the AI interactions with clients more in the near future?
Yeah. So one thing that Lofty really prides itself on is our AI isn't just AI. We don't just trust the, artificial intelligence to do what we want it to do. It's never going to be perfect. So we have a team of humans on the back end that help train that AI to give realistic responses. And we've recently kind of revamped that sales assistant to be a lot more empathetic, to not just be so to the
Mm.
point of the kind of robotic responses. So it's a bit more of a human feeling and a human touch. So we are constantly revamping that, and with the releases of new LLMs, it's always getting better. So trust that if you're using Lofty AI, we've got humans auditing everything on the back end. Every interaction gets looked at to make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do, and then training it to always be better. So every time that AI is used, an enhancement is made.
I love that. Thank you. Good answer.
Yeah.
Junkie, you love AI. Yes, we love AI. We love AI too. That's good. I like these four, and I would assume going back to what I originally said when I was like taking notes, I'm like everything leads back to number one. We should be
Yep.
pushing everyone back to
Yep.
one.
And that segues perfectly into my honorable mention. It's not a type of lead, but the honorable mention is conversion. We've talked a lot about engaging the leads, but what are you doing to convert the leads? Those are two different things, and I think they get used really synonymously. Of engaging is converting, and they're not. Engaging is getting somebody to hopefully convert. It's that beginning stages of conversion. So when you're thinking about your CRM, is your CRM telling you who to reach out to? Is your CRM saying, hey, this person is hot, they need to be reached out to immediately? Are they bringing those leads to the forefront? And then are they arming you with the intelligence on how that prospect likes to be communicated through, like, an AI lead score? Do they prefer text message, phone calls, or emails? Are they better to be contacted at 9 a.m. versus 9 p.m.? So some of this it can feel sort of like, well, yeah, of course, like, this is important stuff. But if it's not put into tangible kind of tools that exist in your CRM, then it
Mhm.
might be time to really take a look at different products on the market and figure out, okay, where I am today, what do I need? Where I want to be tomorrow, and where do I want to be 3 years from now? And get a system that works for today and future so you can really grow into it.
I like that. Yes, very good.
Yep.
And along those lines, what do you think? And then I'll go to your question, Junkie. I love it. What do you think when we're looking at Lofty? What are those other tools that we can add that can help with the conversion in this process?
Yeah. So our AI sales assistant is kind of that number one I always go to. It's more than just a bot that lives on your website. So it does live on your website. It helps convert site to lead type thing.
Mhm.
But it also is a layer across your entire database. So it catches every single piece of engagement of somebody raising their hand saying, I want information, or even just engaging with a specific property. Let's say you send a property alert and they just open 123 Main Street and leave the other 5 be. Well, that's important intel for you to be able to say, okay, I need to call Tristan and see what his thoughts on 123 Main Street were. And it brings it to the forefront for you. You don't have to go hunting for it. You don't have to go look at each individual lead and say, okay, well, what are they engaging with and how can I reach out to them? Where's my opening in the door? AI says, here it is. And then you just have to execute on it. Along with that, our smart plans are a lot more robust than kind of what I think is typically thought of as a smart plan. It's not just an automated drip that you drop onto, 500 contacts and say, all right, they're going to get these until they open an email and then take them out of it. That AI is baked into those smart plans to where if they engage a certain way, it triggers something else. Or if they open the email, maybe you don't want it to do anything just yet. You want it to send another email. If they open the email and click a specific link, it'll kickstart something else. So it's actually acting as like a true assistant in managing your database alongside you. I am a firm believer nobody should, maybe always just throw AI into the mix and hope for the best. It's not like you turn it on and never give it consideration again. But the AI truly can, you put it on and you're able to take a step back and just monitor it and say, okay, well, it's doing what I need it to do. I don't see anything broken. It's not disrupting my communications with clients. I can set it on autopilot now and it'll just tell me what I need to do. So that's kind of the biggest piece when it comes to the conversion is it's truly managing your database alongside you. So you don't have to think about it as much.
That's it. I love that. I mean, we've been with you guys since 2017. And,
oh my gosh.
And I've seen the growth and I've seen the little robot, cute little robot right there.
Our evolution of our robot.
I love that little guy. But a question that's maybe we could do a whole different session on this one as people scan this if you want a free demo. But I love Jonky's question because it hits at the core of that number 4, and it hits at the core of number 3, and even number 2, right? And it re-engages 1, which is how are you showing up on there on Google and everywhere else when you've already locked in that relationship, they're your friends on social and they don't know you, right? Well, you keep giving valuable information and then they find you again, right?
Yep.
So I'd love to do a whole session on blogging, like the current state of blogging with Lofty, with AI, with the AI world, because my whole angle on that would be, let's get us to the snippets, right?
Yeah.
And let's show people how. I wonder if we can do that. Do we have anybody at Lofty who can help with that?
So actually, we are tentatively planning our August webinar with you guys to be all around kind of AEO versus SEO. And a big piece to the SEO and AEO is blogging, is creating that content where you're constantly showing up in that AI search, basically. So there will be segments of that there, but we could absolutely dive into something specific to blogging and kind of the importance and best practices on that as well in a future webinar for sure.
Perfect. I love that. That's actually what we want. Let's do that. And then just short answer, Jonky, when you're writing the blogs inside of Lofty, make it more like FAQ.
Yeah.
So that'll start pulling information more for the answers, because now ChatGPT and Claude and Perplexity and everything else, that's how they're pulling. They're looking for that. Carol, yes. All right, everyone. This was awesome. I took a whole page worth of notes. I love the breakdown that Kendra gave. Those 4 different types. Kendra, I might use that later at a later point, because I love how you can start the reverse and then just every single one needs to go to number 1. So I really like that, everyone. Let's give Kendra a little cheering icon or happy face. She did great. I loved it. We learned. Thank you so much for doing this. This was great.
Thanks for having me.
All right, everybody. If you have any questions, you have to scroll up and grab Kendra's email. I might grab it right now, actually. If you want to put it on there one more time as people are thanking you.
Yeah.
Questions for her, or you don't know where to go, or you just don't feel comfortable using that little section on Lofty that says help, or you're not even part of Lofty, email Kendra and she can help you. She'll put you in contact with the right person. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thanks,
Appreciate you.
guys.
Bye, everybody.